Boom. If you see any a little bit of detail quality, I really need to get a new phone. But anyway, I just gotta say, look at my eyes, look at my eyes. I'm going to be trying to do different voices. I'm going to try something new. People always say that I always go into different voices. So let me try to do first a dry, more growth tone. So now, this is the voice that I see. I get I can't really do it too fast because you lose the growth tone, but this is the voice of Joshua. So it's more like a Barbie voice, but you gotta get it. So now let's do the squeaky voice. And what I would voice act if I was voice acting a cartoon mouse. Something like that. Squeak, 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 squeak. No. I'm usually good at this. Let me try to do this. The day of the perfect reality. The day of the day. Ah, ah. I don't know what I did wrong, but it took much more effort to push that out. Usually I'm able to do a much more squeaky voice. Like, like, like this. So, you know that movie like Scrooge something in that Christmas movie? I just remember, I just think that was didn't didn't the character like that child character Tim Tiny Tim or something like that had that voice like that squeaky little bitty voice. And uh, I'm just trying to do something new because I have still 0 views. And I'm trying to do something to revive a dead space. A dead space. Which hasn't been getting any views lately. So let me try to do a different voice. Okay. 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 Oh. Uh, uh. Ah, fantasy ogre. So now, let's do the military version. Let's hit something with a big stick. It's going to be dead. Trust. The blood shows the death. It's beautiful. Oh, you think that arrow sexy? It's the it's nothing. So, what are you doing? What are you doing, sir? What are you doing? You really don't know what's gonna affect me. You did hurt my knee a little bit. But an RPG. That's what you hear is called. Yeah, Hanky. I'm too high level. I'm too high level. Humanish is so hard. And then I got animal sounds. No. That's the dog. That's a dog squeaking. When you first get a dog, when you have to potty train it and keep it in the kennel a large portion of the time, the amount of noise of that exact same noise you hear is going to be mind draining. You can't let the dog outside because they're not potty trained yet. You love to let the dog stay out for probably hours, but they're just too young at potty. That's one thing about having a dog that is so young. When you get a dog that is so young, you have to potty train it, and then it's so annoying, and it's a headache, and then it's like, uh, I've seen so much waste products. It's ridiculous. So, I've been thinking about something. And this thing is a just theoretical situation. I was watching a YouTuber called TPG Gray, or something like that. The rules for rulers. And I was thinking about a hypothetical, like fictional nation to like describe like how the rules for the rulers would work as a video idea. I was thinking about that. It was a nation. It was a nation called blah blah blah. Mister Ed, no Mister Head. Let's just say Head invaded. Conquered the capital city of blah blah blah. Those were the names, but I was really just playing around, and I can't say these names on YouTube. And then I was making like a whole fictional scenario, like showing like what I could show like as a rules for rulers thing, like how ruling actually works or all this stuff. From an example like rules for rulers. Oh yeah, have you seen the Texas 18th congressional race scenario thing? I've been just saying that before. Just want to say that. And it's I gotta say one thing. We got a new bed frame. Actually, a new bed. When we moved, the old one was too bad. I gotta say one thing. I got a wooden bed frame. It shouldn't be bad because in everything that it should last like a year or something like that. Something like that until we can get enough money and other stuff for iron metal bed frame. But I gotta say one thing. I don't know why people. I get why people. Okay, I get why people have wooden bed frames, but it's like we just try and want to get an iron metal bed frame, a nice iron metal one, and not a wooden one. Why? Because, well, just to save my weight, I'm like 260 over 260, like 260 something, maybe 250 if I was eating good, but today was a good day. And it's a headache when you're that weight. and you have your bed be made out of wood. Because unless I say like the ideal weight for a wooden bed, if you want to have it maintained for a long term amount of time, is like you should have it like something like you should have your weight around like max 210. Max 210. That's what I say. If you don't have any, if you weigh more than 210, I say you should just get iron one, metal one. Because they break within a year. And then once they break within a year, it's like you're going to have to get a new one. And 1 second. I got a bit of nasal spray medicine. Nasal spray medicine ready to. Maybe this will help in decongesting to hopefully be able to finish this video. But to exactly say, it's oh my gosh. The annoyance when you have the like nasal spray stuff is truly, a wooden bed frame is truly horrible. Because if you're more than 210, gotta say, you have to be really careful and really lucky if it doesn't break in like a year or two. You can have those iron bed frames for probably like 5 years. 5 years. 5 years, 10. But those wooden ones can't work after a while. And it's because the weight. Move too much in the bed, especially for someone like me or other people, it's going to eventually break. If you know, I think from the time my channel got wiped, you should know that I had a video on me ranting on wooden bed before. It's bad when you are this heavy and you do this. And I don't get why. Again, I get why it's so nice. It's an aesthetic choice. It's probably cheaper. Oh, probably not cheaper because you have to get the wood and the other stuff. It's like, but I'm just saying, iron is superior. Once you reach past 210, it's iron is superior. That's why I say. If you notice in this video, I've been saying just a bunch of random stuff. Why I've been saying random stuff? This is because I'm trying to fill in more like testing on what I can do, what I can feel, and what I can show on to potentially have people interested. Oh yeah, I'm going to be trying to post consistently more. I should also have another story video coming out. And oh yeah, if you want to know all the story videos that I have, like, you probably don't know the stories because, like, again, I really gotta remember, if anyone watches this video, it's probably a new person. But essentially, these story videos are like little self-made stories in an entirely fictional universe or setting. Quick recap. First one was a futuristic sci-fi setting, like a humanity 100 years in the future, Currently the timeline has reached like the 20 to 2010s. 2010s. 22, reach like the 21st century. So it's pretty far ahead. And in this future, humanity conquered the solar system, eventually figured out how to get through peace, through war and strife. If you know my beliefs, socialism, and also has basic things to cure us to every disease and also free everything. It's a utopian version in their future. They also reach space and have colonized a massive part of the solar system, or most of the solar system at this point. And they reached all the way down to Alpha Centauri. Alpha Centauri was a small colony. Let me just dry my throat. But simply after that, there's also two other stories that have sprout from that particular story, because that was only story one. That was going to be actually four stories about this future timeline. And it was going to extend all the way into possibly billions and not quadrillions of years into the future. But, if not more, but it's been so hard to do that, and Story 2 has been effectively, if not quite literally, indefinitely delayed. If not indefinite hiatus for me. It's not. I'm doing this all for free. All for free. So, there are two extended stories that I am working on. It is the one that is posted on this channel, which has a thing about a person playing a highly realistic VR game where they can make their own personal kingdom, and currently the main character is currently still in the tutorial stage. I actually have kind of hit a roadblock on not properly remembering and detailing all the lore stuff, because I was going to do a huge part, but I'm probably just going to cut the next episode. It was going to be a lore episode, but all the specific stuff, like all the AI citizens, like lies, how he has divided his newly acquired kingdom, and he hasn't fully expanded all of his territory to complete the tutorial mode, which is like half and not majority of the story, but it's still interesting in the nonetheless, because the AI characters can be as realistically as they can almost look sentient or sapient, something like that. And another person who's doing a highly realistic virtual VR game, but this person's not in the solar system. It's on that Alpha Centauri space colony. A child of that Alpha Centauri space colony, and that child doesn't really particularly want to be on the space colony. So thanks to that, gives governmental mandated entertainment. Uh because it generally costs us more to run entertainment and services for that person, then bring them all the way back to Earth because it's light years away. Oh yeah, so they also have a highly realistic VR levels of gaming. And he currently got a new adaptation of a SCP VR game. This is an SCP VR game where they can do a lot of stuff. Currently, he's doing really a lot of roles of role playing identities that are slapped in the SCP Foundation universe in slightly different 4 different universes where 4 different paths can exist: warrior, researcher, fighter, and then mage, if I can remember. Which, if you simplify it enough, is one about a superhuman World War I soldier that got infected by the first anomaly that truly skyrocketed the Foundation into global power while also trying to destroy the world every couple of decades, creating potentially world-ending threats sometimes. And then there's the researcher, the immortal potential main character. It's a whole thing about meta potential on like he got exploded in a device where he now has the abilities of immortality and sometimes plot convenience. Literal plot convenience within the story. Because he's a honored main character. Will have the potential to be an honored main character. By the end of the series, he'll reach that potential and complete the VR simulation. And after that, there's the fighter, which hasn't been written yet, but it will be about like a GOC fighter. GOC fighter, just normal human, but over the time will reach high in the ranks of the GOC organization. And I'm thinking about maybe even trying to be accurate to some actual canon universes within the SCP Foundation. There's multiple different canons, but my SCP thing is a fanfic, so yeah. But it will be GOC propaganda for that one. And then there will be Serpentan, which some details are not fully in place, like will the character be black or Middle Eastern? And their exact origins. But mostly it will be about the main character had their partner killed. They're out of revenge, trying to fight against the SB Foundation. If you know about the Foundation, sometimes they're a multiversal complex organism that expands through even the strongest outer level gods. And that's the version of the SCP Foundation he wants to go to war with. And that version, he works hard as a he works hard to eventually grow power and power and power. First by help of a basically goddess that liked him because of his good looks, and then slowly gained more power through exploring the anomalous world. He was already deep in it, being a Serpentan member, but he fully masters after thousands of years of training and like exploring. and fighting the Foundation throughout over it. And then he joins the resistance against the Foundation, and it causes an entire multiversal war. And then he acts as one of the generals that leads one of the armies, not the main one, but one of the ones, like one of like top 4 or top 3, something like that. Generals, or maybe top 5. Some details are not rock solid yet. And then that's how the 4 stories should go. So yeah, bye. Bye. Doesn't make a difference. But no, at this point can't be brief through. Well, it can be brief through a little bit.